Assalamu alaikum. I'm Professor Dr. Azim Jahangir Khan. Today's session is going to be on hair fall. So, in this video, we'll be talking about hair fall because you have sent me a lot of questions. So, we'll try to answer one by one all of them. How does the first question? So, today's topic was the hair fall, and a lot of people sent us the questions. The first question was, how does hair loss happen? Remember, hair is a very growing organ of the body, probably one of the most growing organ of the body, right? Now, hair needs a constant supply of growing material because if it's going to grow, it will need the required material for it to happen. Because if you don't have the material for hair to grow, the hair is not going to be able to grow. So, all those things which are essential for the hair to grow must be in your body for hair to grow. Otherwise, they won't grow. If there is a lot of pressure on your body, the hair literally goes on strike and does not grow. It is really a fact. And the name of this disease is a disease in which you get hair stoppage after, for example, pregnancy, after a severe illness, for example, typhoid, after dengue, after, God forbid, after a major surgery, after a lot of emotional trauma. So hair can stop growing, right? So there is a disease in which we can tell that hair will stop growing after going under the stress. All right. And the name of the disease I can actually tell you. You can Google it if you want, but don't Google it too much because it could become very, very confusing for you. It's called telogen effluvium. Most of the hair get out of this disease, out of this trauma or the shock. It's also called shock loss in common term. So you need to have the growing material for the hair. So there are many, many growing material. You need to have enough proteins because hair is absolutely made up of proteins, which is called keratin. All right, keratins are kind of protein. You need vitamin D, you need vitamin B12, you need iron. Your thyroid has to be functioning fine. Vitamin B12 has to be there. Folic acid has to be there. So there are many, many things that. So now, when the hair does not grow, we want to make sure that you are not deficient in any of these essential vitamins, nutrients, minerals. Number two, we want to make sure that you don't have any disease in which your hair would also not grow. For example, there is a disease called lupus, and it affects the whole body, but it affects the hair also. And there is any underlying disease can actually affect hair also. So we want to make sure that your hair are affected solo without any involvement of any other organ of the body, or they can be representative of the underlying disease. So we want to make sure you don't have any underlying disease. So in a nutshell, now I can tell you in a nutshell that why does the hair loss happen? Either it could be underlying problem, we need to figure it out, or it could be skin issue that is stopping the hair from growth. For example, after the hair transplant, if you get a lot of dandruff, the hair won't grow as much. So we have to treat dandruff before we can do the hair transplant. All right. We have to make sure that we give you a test list that we can after taking a proper history. If we think that you are deficient on a certain thing, we can always test them. And then the hair loss, the final kind of hair loss is, so I told you deficiencies of things, diseases, underlying diseases, and the third and the most common cause in men, about I would say 90% of the men, the hair loss have a genetic and androgenic cause, which means that it's called androgenetic alopecia, which means that you have family history of hair loss, and because of your androgens or male kind of hormone or testosterone, which gets converted into dihydrotestosterone, your hair will start falling. Only in those people who have genetic tendency for the hair fall. And that kind of hair fall happens on the top of the head only, like the one I have. So I have genetic hair loss because the genes came from my parents' side, mostly from my mother's side, and that can cause hair loss. It's called male pattern hair loss or female pattern hair loss. The scientific name for this is androgenetic alopecia or alopecia androgenetica. All right, androgen, those male hormones, and genetica mean. So you have to have hormones, you have to have certain genes in order for you to get the hair loss, unfortunately. So those are the kind, but the same kind can happen in the females also. Now, the shock loss, as I told you, can happen because of the shock. So if a child starts to have hair loss, we need to make sure that their hair loss is different than the adult's hair loss. So there are genetic diseases in which the hair don't grow well in children. So they grow very small and then they break. So those are the things called as um, hair shaft abnormalities. The hair is called, the one hair that you can see or pull, it's called the hair shaft. So there are many diseases in which that hair shaft or hair can become brittle, and once you comb it will actually come off or can get breakage. So these are the long list of hair loss. So how can you address that, or how can you diagnose it? Unfortunately, you cannot diagnose hair loss at home. You'll have to have help from a dermatologist. So dermatologists are the specialists of the hair, nail, and skin. So you need to go to your dermatologist. You can call us. Our number is 0311 We can always consult you on phone. On WhatsApp is a very, very good, easily done medium through which we can see you even if you are outside of Pakistan or outside of Lahore. We can certainly help you to some extent, to a greater extent actually.